the stiff truth. You want to do a show?
Fuck yeah, I'd love to do a show.
I think we're ready to do a show.
Absolutely. All right, welcome to the Stiff Truth. Oh, it's going to be such a good show today, Bobby. It's going to be such a good show today. I'm Scott Casanova, and with me, as always, Mr. Bob West. I'm feeling good today. A little extra pep in my step, Bobby, and I think you know why, but how the hell are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm really happy to be drinking this drink. It's a good one. Oh, it's a good one.
Cheers to you, bud. Cheers to you.
So far I've gotten all my homework done for the week, so I'm in a good place mentally. I'm here. I'm lazy.
Feeling it. Fucking dialed in. That's great. And not to mention, I think we should definitely mention, I think we're both pretty pumped. No mystery at all that football is here. Football is here as of this last Thursday, with the Bills crushing the former Super Bowl champions, I'll go ahead and say. But today is the first football Sunday, baby. And that's exciting stuff. Here we are midday, already got the morning games over. I'm telling you what, in true fashion too, Washington squeaks by their opener win against the masterful Jacksonville Jaguars, which has got me even more fired up, because I don't even know if I mentioned this on the show yet, but I've kind of had enough with Washington. This is the year they need to prove to me why I'm a fan and why I continue to put up with the bullshit. So starting off with a W is definitely going in the right direction. You know what I mean?
And they played a pretty solid game. I can't complain. I think they did solid. Time will tell. Their opponent could be a little weaker than most, but we don't know. Jacksonville may be really fucking good this year. We don't know.
Hey, we were talking about it before. You can only get so many first round draft picks before you are not the worst team in the league. We'll say that. I mean, I think Detroit or the Browns want to hold on to that title indefinitely. I don't think they want to give it up to Jacksonville. So hopefully Jacksonville's on the up, and hopefully they're a competitive team this year, and we just beat a competitive team. That's how I'm going to look at it as of right now.
Or you just beat the Southeast Lions.
the Swamp Lions.
The Swamp Cats. That's it.
Hey, well, before we get into too much, I mean, we've got a lot of fun stuff today, a lot of timely stuff, a lot of just crazy, fun, silly things too. But what the hell is that you're drinking? Because I'll tell you what, it looks like you just asked your mom for a warm cup of milk. That's what it looks like. So please explain to the Stiffies, what do we got going on today in the wonderful world of cocktails?
So there we go. This is I don't know if my camera can do it justice with the green screen and all, but it is it's a golden dream with double bumpers.
Oh, there it is. What now? Here's what I first thought when I read that. What the fuck does that even mean?
Well, there's a golden dream without double bumpers.
Okay.
But we opted for the golden dream with the double bumpers. So this one, it has the bumps.
Still don't know what that means. But you know what I think it means? Actually, what I know it means is it's got more booze in it. And the other reason why I'm really, really excited about this drink is I believe, you may correct me, but I thought about it earlier today. I believe this drink involves a first here at the Stiff Truth, which was very exciting to me. But I think this is the very first cocktail that we've made without one of the four horsemen, meaning one of the four, like, kind of standard liquors, vodka, gin, rum, tequila. None of that is in here. Dare I say, this has all liqueurs in it, but two of them are full strength proof liqueurs, just like a four horsemen, right? So I'm going to go ahead and pause there, because that's a bold statement I just made.
No, I think you're probably right. If not right, really close to being right, right? Maybe there's another one that we've mixed in, but you're right. This one has Benedictine and Galliano, two of our personal faves. Close to the heart on those two. But it's not a bitch drink, and it tastes like almost like an Orange Julius from the mall, like in the 90s.
It does, and then with a little bit of umph from the Galliano. Am I right?
Totally can taste the Galliano.
Yes, it's the same reason why I love a Harvey Wallbanger and any Wallbanger of sorts is that nice aftertaste and that nice finish of just the beautiful floral wonderfulness that is Galliano. But again, I know everybody's like, just tell us what's in the fucking drink, guys, and the proportion. So without further ado, here you're going to want to get a tall glass, fill it with ice. Then you want to get a half ounce of each of these guys coming up here. You've got Galliano, Benedictine. That's not a cheap booze either. So neither is Galliano.
Neither
so you're
one,
kind of
yeah.
you're going to be a little bit sore if you're.
It's kind of an uppity drink.
Yeah, it definitely is. Half ounce of both of those bad boys, and then a half ounce of triple sec and a half ounce of brandy. From there, you're going to want to add equal parts of, that's right, kids, orange juice and cream, heavy cream, or milk. Bob went with heavy cream. I went with whole milk. It seems like my proportions are about right. I know you didn't really measure it out, but I did about an ounce of each. Then, of course, you're going to put that bad boy in that vigorous shake that we all love, very similar to Michael J. Fox, and then just top it into another nice tall glass. I used a highball glass. Bob, I think you did too. Filled up a nice highball glass with ice and just dribbled that in there. And my goodness, that's what you got right here. You got a golden dream with double bumpers.
It's
Another
very
drink.
good. And when you add the orange juice and the cream and you shake it like Muhammad Ali, you
Yes, yes, that's what you call diversity.
it really does make that like creamy good drink. Something about shaking cream in your drinks just makes it frothy and foamy and awesome.
You like shaking cream, don't you? Yeah,
it reminds me of the consistency reminds me of a New York sour, if you remember those.
Oh, I do. Now, funny that you say that too. There was another drink, and I, for the life of me, obviously I can't remember it now, but there was another drink I saw, and I was like, just looking for drinks for the show. And I was like, man, Bob would really like that because it looked like some really good. I don't even remember the ingredients here, but what I remember is the egg. You know what I mean? And like
it was the New York sour, yeah.
Yeah. And it was just it's such an interesting way to add that texture that really just takes it the extra mile and makes it extremely unique. There's a few drinks out there that have the egg yolk, or not the egg, but like the egg white.
The egg white, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, this is a dandy of a drink. Now I tell you what here. When am I busting this one out? I was trying to think about that. Because of the milk, I can't get away from it. I kind of feel like this would be a fun kind of Christmas dessert drink. You know what I mean? Like the Galliano kind of has that almost like sweet cake kind of aftertaste. Almost like a coffee kind of sweetness almost. And the milk, man. I mean, do you remember the candy canes that we made last year?
I do. I would even, I don't know. Maybe I'm a more planning alcoholic, but like in the morning when you're having mimosas and you're like trying to transition into day drinking effectively, this is a good transition drink in that time period with brunch. You get this in around lunchtime and you can just like start transitioning into the harder stuff. I don't know. Maybe I've got a problem, probably, but I think that this can go along and kind of get you started in that. But again, this is not a table drink. This is not a household drink. This is a $20 drink in the bar. Like if you go to a bartender and you ask for a golden dream with double bumpers, first, like almost every time they're going to have to go look it up. Like no one's going to know this drink, and rightfully so, right? And then it's going to be a $20 drink.
And they're probably, unless they're an uppity place, probably not going to have the Benedictine. You're going to be hard pressed if they even have the Galliano.
Oh yeah, either one, Benedictine or Galliano. No, 100%. Like this is the drink that you order like when you're maybe at the casino.
Oh yeah. Because they if they don't have it, then I'm leaving. That's a red flag. You know what I mean? Like, look, I'm not going to give you thousands of my dollars if you can't make this drink, dude. Come on, please show a little class. You know what I mean? This is not an Indian casino outside of Albuquerque.
But we do pride ourselves though on creating these drinks that will make your bartender go and look it up in the book. Mm-hmm. You have to. Like if you know this off of the top of your head, you're either a huge Benedictine or Galliano honk, right? And you just know the drinks that have it. Or I don't even know. I don't even know. Like maybe if you're an Orange Julius or an orange or a creamsicle kind of a honk, you know all the creamsicle drinks or something. But it's very much a creamsicle drink. So if you want to like put this in perspective, if you ever had those bomb ice cream, like the creamsicle ice creams or whatever, the creamsicle taffies, this is very much in that flavor realm. But like Scott said, with the Galliano kind of kick, you can always taste that floral Galliano taste.
So fucking good. That's
Now,
all I gotta say.
we're really not having a show on this drink, even though we might be able to.
True. 100%. Well,
we really do have things to talk about.
look, I'm excited to talk about other things here, but if I can just say one more thing here, I'm also very excited because let's just face it, Benedictine is not as good as Galliano. It's not as in as many drinks that we've had yet, and I don't think that either of us have taken it off the shelf since we got it for our first drink that we bought it for.
Which mine has dust on it.
I believe it was season 1. I believe it was season 1 when we had that. So
it was season 1, and in fact, it was the show where we made the drinks from Fear and Loathing. The
Singapore slings.
The Singapore slings. Yep, that's the one we bought it.
Oh wow, yeah, that was a while
like
ago.
A steel trap, Scott. A steel trap.
I'll tell you, steel trap of gayness. That is for sure. But now, in all seriousness, though, and this is of course not really serious. I don't know why I started with that, but I believe that it's 40% 80 proof. I would say that yours and mine, the Benedictines, are probably around 90 proof. I think that they've aged a little bit more and matured in the alcohol content. That's just me ballparking and making an estimation, but that's got to happen, right? When they sit around for years,
Well, I don't think they get stronger. I think they just get smoother, and older, better. Now, does that happen with like floral liqueurs? I don't know. Maybe we're drinking a shitty liqueur. I don't know. I don't know the rules.
What you just said there completely contradicts pedophilia, the pedophilia mindset, which I love that about you. Another great PSA. As they get older, they get smoother. Another great PSA from Mr. Bob West.
I don't think they get stronger, but they definitely get a little smoother, a little sweeter.
She's like, well, if they're hitting the gym a lot, maybe they get stronger, but eventually that'll depreciate with age. All right, let's dial it back a little.
I've got a 23-year-old bottle of Armagnac here with osteoporosis.
Oh, speaking of aging with grace, gotta just bust out our first conversation here. It finally happened. To Prince Charles's dismay, his mother has finally passed. Queen Elizabeth II. I know everybody knows this. It's been all over the news past couple of days. And I'll tell you what, dude, 70 years reign. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Now, when I first heard the news, I was like, Jesus, not to be kind of mean, but I was like, it's kind of like about time. Like I was wondering, honestly, if she was ever going to pass because she was 96 years old and didn't look like she was slowing down. She like had her faculties and was still like doing almost everything normal. I think the last year or so, she didn't do a couple of things and kind of had stepped out a little bit of like the normal queenly duties or what have you. But, pretty big shit, dude. Our entire lifetimes, our parents' entire lifetimes, Queen Elizabeth has been on the throne of England. Dude, I saw some pictures. I'm sure you've seen this little montage too of her with presidents of the United States, all the way back to Harry S. Truman. Literally, the man that had to make the decision to drop the atomic bomb was her first photo op with an American president, all the way through Trump, dude. That's pretty nuts, man. I mean, what were your initial thoughts when you heard this news?
You know, I had to show everyone my surprise face. It looked like this.
Okay.
Because I mean, she's old as fuck, you know, and the reason she's probably still alive is because she's wealthy, you know, and that's fine. But you know, you started the segment about much to Charles's dismay. I don't think so. I don't think he was bummed out about it. I think he finally made peace with this like 20 years ago. Like at any time my mom could die, he's like still in his 50s, and he's like, at any time, and then like a decade later, like seriously, at any fucking time. Like, Like, lady, you're in your 80s. You're not running shit right now. You're not doing anything. Like, everyone's making new decisions for you. Like, what's next on your agenda? You've been queen for 60 years. Now you're gonna what? Your prime age to go run for American president? I don't know. What are you gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
And then she finally passed, and I think Charles is finally king, and that's cool for 6 years or whatever he's going to be king for. So that's great. And we need to look forward to King William. That's really Prince William's going to be the king. But the thing about all of this is like the king has no purpose other than to be a face of a nation and accumulate a massive amount of wealth for free. Like what is the king or queen of England really there for at this day and age?
Nothing. I mean, they are they're a headpiece, right? They're pretty much like they are literally just window dressing in the sense that they don't really have any real power in the country. However, with that being said, they are quite influential, and they do they lead by example, and everybody in England at least definitely looks to what the king or queen of England is saying and kind of takes heed. That's true. But real power, no, they're not really a part of parliament or anything like that. Obviously they have a prime minister and their own kind of thing going on there, but like you had just said, I was chuckling about this the other day in the sense that Charles has been groomed his entire life that he's going to be king. I bet he never thought that he was going to start his reign at the ripe age of 73. I didn't think that was on his map. He's like, Jesus Christ. It's like, Charles, you're finally king. He's like, sweet, awesome. I'm going to go lay down.
He's like, oh, that's sweet.
Think about it.
Sweet.
Dude, and who knows? I don't think he's in any kind of poor health or anything like that, but he's 73. I'm thinking he maybe is king max for 10 to 15 years maximum, right? And then you got Prince William, who's next in line, who's age 40 right now. So essentially what we're doing is we're probably lining up the more long reign of Prince William for when he's probably 50, 55 years old, depending on his father's health. But it is interesting because, yeah, dude, I did get a good little laugh out of how long it took. And I know he probably thought like 30 years ago, like, okay, dude, she's like in her 60s. I'm sure it's going to be like about 10 years from now or whatever it is. We got to get ready for this, bro. It's going to be pretty sweet. I'm going to be king. I'm going to have the crown. It's going to be badass. I'm going to live in Buckingham Palace. And then literally he's past the age of retirement and now has just become king. That's pretty interesting stuff. He's probably got mixed feelings about it.
And, and I joke about like, he was probably ready for her to die. And not that he necessarily was, but it's not that he necessarily wasn't either. I think he's been prepared for this for a long time. I mean, we all get to a point with our parents where we start like facing mortality and we start like mentally preparing for like the possibility, right? We've all thought it. I mean, my parents are like, around 70. My mom's past 70, and your parents are in the same ballpark, and it's just something you think about as a child when your parents think, or in their 60s or 70s, you start thinking about that phone call, right? And I'm sure he's been thinking about it for a long fucking time now. I mean, think about that. For a quarter century, he's had that initial thought. Well, she's 65, 70. I got to prepare myself for getting this phone call. That was in like the mid 90s.
Yeah. Dude, that. He's had like 2 colonoscopies since then. You know what I mean? It's like.
Why is that so funny?
Because he's an old bastard himself.
I guess that's true. When you get a colonoscopy, you have to face your parents' mortality. That's the gist of it.
Hey, once it's your time to get the fucking tube, the scope shoved up your ass and just take a little look-see around, you should probably call your parents and make sure they're okay. You know what I mean?
If your parents are aging around the average death time, then your butthole's probably in dire straits as well.
Another lovely PSA here from the stage. If it's about time for the colonoscope, give your parents a call. Tell them you love them.
Oh, for real. For real. So,
Oh,
again, as far as like, if it was back in the day, there'd be like political ramifications for this. What does that mean? What is political ideology? What's going to happen? But they don't really have any power anymore. So it's just all just like pretties. It's all table dressing and shit. So it's
well,
kind of whatever. But, when she first started, she did have power.
yeah, dude.
When
It
she
was
was
literally right after World War II. So the
right,
world was topsy turvy to say the least. It was like things were going
they
a
were
little nutty.
rebuilding after the war because they got fucked up during World War II. They weren't like us. They were
Mm-hmm.
like in it. Germany wanted to end England, like make England a crater in the earth. Is
Mm-hmm.
like their huge goal. They sent those rockets over, the first of their kind, the V2 rockets, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
sent those
Mm-hmm.
rockets over and they were trying to kill them. And then she took place, like she got her queenship or whatever. Her reign began right after that, and she had to rebuild the nation from kind of like the ground up, in a manner of speaking. Um, but then Parliament kind of did their thing, and it's a lot happens after like 70 years of ruling.
A lot does. Like the diminishment of like the the meaning of monarchy in modern
Yeah,
society.
yes, exactly.
But seriously, it was interesting because I'll be very honest here. I did not know much about the whole monarchy in England throughout history, besides what we all know. Henry VIII, crazy motherfucker, made the Church of England to get away from not being able to do things. The Victorian era, she was another one that ruled for 60 years in the 1800s. There's a whole era named after her. And then Queen Elizabeth. Other than that, I don't really know shit about any of the other kings or queens. After doing a little bit of research, though, there's been 6 females rulers, so 6 queens out of 60, give or take, monarchs, going all the way back to before what is it? I want to say like 900 AD or some shit like that. Like it goes back pretty fucking far, which is a pretty long tradition of craziness, if you ask me, because again, I think in the grand scheme of things, this has been like pretty much like one bloodline, correct? I mean, obviously there's been some mixing of others here and there, but there's been like one family, like genealogy wise, kind of like going all the way. Like, okay, if Charles took like the 23andMe or whatever, you know what I mean? I don't even think he needs to do that. Like history books have written it. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, I can just like open up Wikipedia and figure out about my family tree. That's interesting, dude. That is very interesting.
Yeah, no, 100%, dude. Just the whole monarchy system in general has always been interesting to me. Like, what a way to capitalize on Christianity by saying it's your divine right to rule and all of my family lineage to keep all the wealth of all of you people and to rule over you. Like, there's no merit. You don't have to like have any sort of credentials or merits or whatever. You're just like, well, daddy said that I should be king, so I'm gonna be
Yeah.
king now. So fuck you, off with your head. What an interesting way to like maintain power. It's so much more effective than rich people passing down money through like death inheritances in capitalism. I think they really figured it out.
100%, 100%. But it's interesting. I would also said too, and I think I'll close it out with this in the sense that I'm pretty much done talking about it. But it is going to be a nice kind of refresh here to hear, like just in the news and to hear kind of socially, no, the King Charles, this and that, just because it's different. It's not Queen Elizabeth. It's been Queen Elizabeth for so fucking long. It's nice to hear a
It's
different
been
name
Queen
up there.
Elizabeth since like our grandparents were
Yeah,
born,
essentially.
not
Yeah.
even like since they can remember, like since they were born. Like she's been in power for so long. That's crazy. It's time for a transfer of power. And speaking of transfer of power, did you see the Patriots game today?
I know they lost. I did.
They did more than lose.
They got stomped. And you know what? I'll
They
say you
did get
called
stomped.
this. You called this, my friend. Miami is no punk bitch. They're looking pretty far. They're looking pretty good out there. I don't know if they're as good as the Bills, but we'll see soon because they play twice this year. But it is nice to see the dynasty looks like it's officially dead, at least for a little while. And that puts a big smile on my face. Look, I don't like the misfortune of others except for Bill Belichick. And this is nice. This is a nice little change of events. I'm pretty happy with things.
Well, and it's been this whole like, is it Belichick or is it Brady? Who gets the credit here? Fucking Brady does.
Dude.
Just the same way that Joe Montana gives fucking Walsh all kinds of credit
Yeah.
because he was so great.
Mhm.
It's the same way that everyone gets their credit. Players win championships. Coaches assemble teams and get them ready for the season, and call plays during games. Players audible those plays and call whatever the fuck they feel like, especially winners in a game, as to how they see it, especially quarterbacks. And it's Brady. It's Brady. Brady's one of the best winners that we've ever seen since Bill Russell.
Mhm.
There's like two. Everyone says Michael Jordan. Stop. Fucking Michael Jordan. Yes, he's a great winner, great competitor, all this shit. Bill Russell won 11 fucking championships. Michael Jordan can hold his jockstrap when it comes to being a champion. I'm
Wow.
sorry, but 11 championships. Think about that. That's
Mhm.
insane. And Brady has been to the Super Bowl almost half of the a third of the years he's been in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right? He's like won a Super Bowl.
Well,
He,
I think you had mentioned, I think it was you that mentioned me a little while back that there was like some ratios and percentages. And it was something like I can't remember what it was. Oh yes, I think it was Steph Curry and Brady. Like Steph Curry is more likely to miss a free throw shot than Brady be in the Super Bowl again. Like,
it was a 3-point shot.
yeah, 3 point
Steph is
shot.
more.
Yeah.
Tom Brady has a higher Super Bowl winning percentage in the NFL than
Yes.
Steph Curry has a 3-point shot percentage in his career.
That's fucking that is a little bit nutty right there. But yes, no, I did see that. The Bills game was great. I thought it was fantastic. And here's what it is. I rooted for the Rams last year, but you know what? I'm done with them now. Stafford's got his ring. I've never been a huge Stafford fan, like evergreen Stafford fan. Like I wasn't always rooting for him. I was just kind of rooting for him because he had been on a shitty team. He had been dealt a shitty hand with being stuck in Detroit forever. He's never got a ring. He's a great quarterback. He got his ring. Now I'm done with the Rams. They
Time
spent
to move on.
billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, time to move on. I'll tell you what though. Von Miller took the likelihood of that team winning a championship. I think he took it away with him when he went to.
I think they took it away from themselves by not resigning him. I
Mm-hmm,
mean, the
mm-hmm.
dude is he's unreal.
Well,
It's just he's so nasty.
and the Bills' defense was already phenomenal. Now you just add him to the mix, and you saw him get a sack on Stafford the other night. And I was like, Jesus, isn't that just like the story right here, man? But that was a great game. I was super pumped. Not only obviously Jamie's a Bills fan, but the Bills have been looking better every year. Josh Allen looks better and like just more mature every single year. If this is not their year to at least make it to the Super Bowl, I mean, come on, they got to be knocking on the door by now.
So I gotta say this. If I were to guess in AFC, I say they're the front runners for sure. They just pounded the defending Super Bowl champs, and let's be honest, they left points on the table. They could have hung 50
Mm-hmm.
on them, and they stepped on their own foot a couple of times with some drops that led to picks in the first half. Like they really could have hung 50 points on the defending champs and really made a statement. But I think they made a statement anyway.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
as I
agree.
told you at halftime, like Josh Allen's in like mid-season form.
Yeah.
Dude looked like it was the extra overtime inning of the AFC Championship game still.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
that dude was just still slinging it, still being accurate. And if you remember when Josh Allen was drafted, the big knock on him was he's a big guy, he's mobile, he's athletic, but his accuracy, he's not very accurate. Well, that fucking ship has sailed, my friend. Josh Allen has worked on his accuracy. He has worked on his technique. That dude is a winner. He's a beast. Man, I'm jealous. I wish he was on my team. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
well, yeah. I mean, it sounds like you're jealous for more reasons than that, and that's totally understandable. I mean, he's a hunk of a man. Am I right? Am I
He is a huge hunk of man.
right? No, but you're absolutely right. I will. We got to do this. We always do this here on the Stiff Truth. Let's make Super Bowl predictions right now.
Well, we
I know
have to.
this.
It's week one.
I know season just started. We're excited. We're poised. I know you hope the Cowboys are going to win. I also hope the Washington Commanders are going to win. But if I have to say it, I would like to say the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. I'll say this: the Bills will make it to the Super Bowl this year. That's going to happen. I think it's going to be Bills. I'm going to say Bills in Tampa Bay.
Okay. I like that. I don't think I'm going to argue with the Bills. I think that's your AFC front runner. I just said that a second ago. I think they're the best team in the AFC. I'm going to say the Eagles.
Wow.
I know
Wow.
I've got some logic behind it,
No,
but
I'm not going to argue with you on that one. I just didn't want to pick anybody in the NFC East out of spite.
after the thrashing that they laid down today and the way that Jalen Hurts looked, man, I every year a new NFC East team wins. It's probably not going to be the Commanders. Sorry, it's obviously not going to be the Giants. The Cowboys won last year, so the last 30 years says that the Cowboys won't win this year. So that means that the Eagles will win. And the
Always
way that
happens
the
that way.
Eagles looks today, man, I think they're up there, and I think that division's a little bit tougher than people give it credit for. I think it's gotten greatly improved over the last couple of seasons compared to the NFC least of a few years ago.
I think the only team that still sucks right now is the Giants.
And
Which
who knows? Let's let the
maybe they
season
don't,
play
maybe
out.
they don't. I know, maybe they don't. And I might just be foot and mouth right away there because who knows? Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones could be finally turning it up. We don't know yet. We just don't know
I
yet.
saw a stat the other day, and it was Daniel Jones against Josh Allen, right? And said Josh Allen is basically Daniel Jones on a good team, and their stats are almost identical. And that's
Wow.
crazy to say, but when you look at his touchdowns, interceptions, his completion percentage, everything was identical except for the win-loss column. I was just
Yeah.
like, wow, okay, that really like kind of makes me take a step back and like reevaluate Daniel Jones. But dude doesn't throw a lot of picks, and that's good. He does have legs. We've seen him run. I mean, he does kind of fit the same type as Josh Allen. He's a mobile quarterback. He's a big guy with a powerful arm. But you're right. He's on a. They're the shit team.
Well, and I'll tell
They
you
might
what,
be the worst team in the NFC.
to his credit, he also like his predecessor also looks like he has a touch of downs, which is always
He
what New
does.
York
His
needs.
eyes are a little bit too close together. I don't
Oh,
know. I don't know.
Christ!
I don't know. I don't know what's up with this guy. But yeah, it's
Uh,
just a hint of down, just maybe a dash of
just a
downs.
little trinkle.
But I'm so glad the football has started. We're both pimping the jerseys today, and the Cowboy game starts. You start off with a win. That's amazing. It's always nice to start off with a win. We probably won't start off with the win, but I'm hopeful. Last year was really close with the Bucks, so we'll see what the Cowboys do this evening. But either way, man, I'm having steaks and potatoes and watching a Cowboy game on Sunday night. That's fucking fantastic.
Nothing more American than that, sir. America's team.
Well, I mean, I guess I
And
could be holding an AR. Well,
that's true. That's true. Waving an American flag in the air while you're shooting it off in the sky, just going crazy. Probably holding a Bud Light too. If you got all those elements, you're doing as much America as you possibly can.
I have Michelob Ultra. I'm
That'll
trying to be
work.
conscious of my carbs.
Well, it's not as American as you can be, but it's good enough. That's what we'll call it right there. But yeah, dude, football is back. Very excited. And who knows, tonight, Cowboys may stomp all over the Buccaneers, and I might say, oh, geez, the Bucks are not really going to be that good. And here's the thing. I'd like to think, just so you know, that the Bucks are going to suck. I just know that's not going to be the case. I just know it's not going to be the
Every
case.
time we fucking say that Tom Brady's done and he's gonna suck, he's been proving us wrong for like a decade. So I just stopped saying it.
Yeah, exactly. Until he retires, I'm just always going to assume that he's going to be in the playoffs because that's the kind of guy he is. So it is what it is, man. But yeah, excited for football to be back, and I hope all the stiffies are too, because goddamn, it's a good time of year. The fall's starting. Everything is just falling right into place right now. And I like
Have you done any fall things yet?
that. Well, I had to wear real shoes yesterday when I went to the store. So
Did
that
you have
was
to tie them?
I did. I had to tie my shoes.
Wow.
And I say this because if weather permits, I typically wear flip-flops from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And yesterday was
Now,
the first day because of the cold
question:
snap
are they
here.
like flip flops, like thongs? Or are they like slip on, like sliders?
Oh, they're like thongs, Bob. I
I
do it
just need to
right.
know your preference.
I do it right around the stiff truth. We always wear thongs. You know what I mean? Regardless of what kind of piece of
I'm
clothing
a
it is.
slider guy, and I'm preferential to
Uh,
Adidas. I don't know.
well, okay. Well, that makes sense. We all love Adidas. So good for you. But yeah, so that's the only thing so far. But I'm about to bust out the hoodies. I'm gonna start drinking more hot tea in the evening just to to warm up and stuff. Things are gonna be happening, Bob. Things are
So
going to be
I
happening.
went to my son's game yesterday out in fucking Grants, and if anyone's ever been to Grants, I'm sorry. Like, holy shit, what a shit fuck hole town that is. Like I felt like the Hills Have Eyes was going down. Like some like one-eyed people are gonna hop out with like they haven't bathed in like 3 months with one overall strap going on to like hit me with some handmade shiv. I didn't even know. Like Grants is a fucked up little town. Beyond that, moving on. so so I went up there. I wore a hoodie to that game. It was 81 degrees, so it's a little bit warm, and I didn't
Kind of
wear like a
strange.
sweater hoodie. It was a thin material, so kind of a life hack. It was like a, that dry fit material. It
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
that
for
kind
sure.
of a hoodie, really thin. I didn't get hot or sweaty the whole time. And then as soon as the game started, like the clouds came out, it was overcast. So it was like perfect fucking day for a game. But I did go hoodie for the first time this almost fall season. And dude, I saw a pumpkin pie the other day in Costco, and I was like that close to buying it. My wife
Watch
says
out.
that's taking it over the top and that's too much. Can't get pumpkin pies in September. I say you're wrong.
Yeah, well, you can do whatever you want. You're a grown ass man. I'll tell you that right now. And I was just thinking about something, Bob. 81 degrees wearing a hoodie. So you fit right in with the local heroin addicts, didn't you?
Oh, I did. And man, that's facts too. There are some. Fucking Grants, dude.
Oh,
Haven't seen a
goodness.
town that pathetic in a long time. Maybe ever. It might be the most pathetic town I've ever been to. It was pretty
Well,
bad.
I'll tell you what. Speaking of strange and pathetic, have you heard of the new trend? It's the huge rave. Fuck perfume, Bob. Perfume is so 20th century. It's all about vabbing, homie. Now, we can't vab. Now, we can't vab ourselves. We can't create our own vab. But I hear it's the thing to really get a lot of phone numbers and drinks at the bar lately. Have you heard about this trend?
Yeah. I have TikTok.
Oh, good. Good for you.
Of
Now,
course.
is this something you've been dabbling into? Do you know people that have been experimenting? Now, I've never heard of it before. I've never seen it on TikTok. It was an eye-opening, just an eye-opening thing. I'm just going to go ahead and say that to me when I heard about this. I was like, what are we doing here? We're putting like excretions of our privates, of our genitals behind our ears.
No, so here's the thing.
Here's the deal. Give it to me, Joe Biden style.
Girls are just like sticking their finger up their twats and rubbing their necks. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's just like
Okay.
standard use. Now,
Standard
personally,
juice.
personally, I think there's a little more to it than that. Like if
Uh-huh.
you want to involve the pheromones, I think you actually have to like go get off and put that juice on your neck.
That's what
Like you
I would
can't
be thinking.
half-ass it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
want to attract me, I'm gonna need some like arousal state pheromones, not just some like, oh, I just got out of the bathtub and like that's half-ass pussy juice. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I guess some pussy juice would be half-assed too, depending on like how you're cleaning it up. If you're going front to back or back to front, you know what I mean?
So, what do you think about the unhygienic girl that's like, I'm gonna vab, I'm gonna land me a man, and she's like, I'm gonna land me a man, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's like all nasty smelling. It's a dude
Oh
at the
my
bar is just
god.
like, hey, can I get a beer? There's like a fish packing plant next door.
Oh
I'm
my
thinking
god.
this chick
Like
at the bar is all super sad.
you're you're all, dude, who's microwaving the fucking tuna fish around here? What's going on?
Doesn't anyone know office etiquette?
You don't reheat fish in the office microwave. Let's go. It seems so strange to me. Now, the blowback from the medical professionals I thought was pretty interesting. Like sticking, like we shouldn't already look. I mean, we had to get tutorials at the beginning of 2020 on how to wash our hands properly. So I totally understand that people don't quite get hygiene still here in the 21st century. That's a fact. But for people not to know to repeatedly stick your fingers inside of you, regardless of where they've been, without washing, and to continuously put your fingers on other places in your body that have exposure to a lot of dirt and germs, and then put them back inside of you, and just like rinse and repeat that process for a while, to think that nothing bad could happen is a little bit strange. But I don't know. I think the warnings are maybe a little bit blown out of proportion. I mean, because if you
100%, dude. Come on.
yeah, 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 yeah.
if putting your fingers inside of a vagina was going to like cause some illness every time, then I'd have left the trails of dead women through my 20s.
Seriously, right? They're your teens as well. Let's not pussy around it. Let's pussy finger in it. You know what I'm saying? Let's go here. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it could cause infertility and something or other pelvic like disorder. I was like, what? What are we talking about here? Look, I'm gonna look it up for a minute just because.
No. I read the article and it was basically just like don't stick unclean fingers in vagina. It could cause like bacteria. Yeah, of course. Yeah, same goes with anything. Don't stick unclean fingers anywhere. Don't take out your contacts without washing your hands. Don't pick your nose unless you like wash your hands or whatever. Like everyone knows not to stick dirty fingers inside of orifices. This isn't new news.
Here, look. Here we go. London gynecologist says that if certain bacteria is already on the fingers and then inserted into the vagina, it could lead to a myriad of issues, including bacterial vaginosis. I don't know why that made me laugh. It sounds so technically disgusting at the same time. Bacterial vaginosis, thrust, whatever that may be, or even pelvic inflammatory disease dubbed PID. PID.
Well, so bacteria vaginosis creates that fishy smell that we were referring to earlier.
God, Jesus.
Well, just so you know. That's what that is.
Okay. Well, I never heard of it as referred to as bacterial vaginosis. Bob, how do you know this?
I've had my fair share of partners.
Oh. And bacterial vaginosis comes up in conversation.
It's come up from time to time, yeah.
She's like, hey, don't mind that. Get your head back down there. It's just my bacterial vaginosis. Don't be a pussy. Let me be that. Well, it is what it is. I mean, kids will do the damnedest things. I think it's okay. You know, hey, just wash up before and after. I think you're going to be fine. Leave it at that.
Yeah. Now, I do have another take on this.
Okay. Give me the hot take.
I don't think that humans are attuned enough to smell pheromones or pick up on any of that shit. I don't think that it helps in a physical sense as far as human physiology. However, I do think there's a psychological bit to this that does help. And I think that when a woman like sticks, you know, some vaginal secretions on her neck or whatever, it's like, I'm going to get a man with this and it's going to work. I think that confidence can then transfer over to the night, attracting more men to her, regardless of the smell on her neck at all. So I think it's the placebo effect that if you think it's going to work, it fucking is going to work.
It's the same reason, Bob. Hold on. It's the same reason why I stick a couple fingers up my asshole and then rub it on my neck. And then go to the.
This is going to work.
And then head to the gay bars. I'm all, tonight is my night, fellas. Let's go. I smell fresh like shit. It's my shit. Come on. Oh, goodness gracious. I'll tell you what. But same principle, right? It's not really like, it's not like a legitimate thing. But if I have my confidence boosted, you know what I mean? Like I'm probably going to get some ass play that night. Isn't that correct?
Well, that's kind of with anything, right? That's like one of two reasons that it's okay to like masturbate before a blind date, right? Because for one thing, if you do end up in the sack, you can last longer. Fucking pro tip. Secondly, you have that confidence to where you're no longer like, it just kind of builds your testosterone a little bit and that confidence a little bit. So when you go out, you know what I mean? So again, if you think something's going to work, it is going to work. You thinking it's going to work is the biggest part about it all. As long as you think it's going to work, isn't you dropping naked pictures to everyone.
Yeah. You know, this again, I'm not even sure how this was figured out or exactly the strategy here, but I don't know if anybody heard about this. It was a Southwest plane going to Cabo San Lucas in Mexico. Everybody obviously goes there to vacation. It's one of the hottest spots. And they're on the tarmac. They're not even in the air yet, right? And a bunch of people, apparently everybody had iPhones because they're airdropping nude photos to somebody.
Well, everybody does have iPhones, dude. They're going to Cabo.
That's true, right?
Just think of the demographics of that.
Makes sense. Okay, so we'll say 85% of the people on the plane probably have fucking iPhones already. But here's my question mark here, which wasn't played out in the article. It was pretty funny because it seemed like the pilot was not a Apple user. He seemed like an Android user. It's like whatever this airdrop thing is, knock it off. It's funny. It's funny shit. He's like, all right, everybody, I'm gonna have to turn this plane around. Gonna ruin everybody's vacation. So if you guys still want to go to Cabo, knock it off. Quit sending nude pictures. This is ridiculous. But the funny thing is, like, were they playing a practical joke on him and his co-pilot? Like, who was getting the new pictures? Or was there a Karen in like row one that was like, Captain, come, like, rings the bell for the stewardess or whatever? It's like, hi, yes, they're sending nude pictures to me and it's really not appropriate. Can we tell the captain before we take off? Like, how did this play out? I do wonder. What are your thoughts? What are your suspicions here? Who was getting the nudes? We know everybody else was sending them. Well,
I don't know. It seems like AirDrop is some sort of Bluetooth drop that happens. And
it's a file sharing, Apple file sharing program where you can literally just kind of drop shit to each other.
Yeah, there's like within a radius or maybe on the Wi-Fi or something because everyone's on the Wi-Fi of the airport.
Yeah, there's like almost no download like time or anything like that. It's just like instant file transferring essentially.
So I'm gonna say that there's most likely a complaint. But the funny thing is like, sir, someone's getting me naked pictures, and the husband's like, really? I'm gonna go to the bathroom, honey. I'll be right back.
That's a good one. Yeah, no, it was funny though. I mean, from what I understand too, it went pretty viral on TikTok. A lot of our stories are from TikTok today. Thank you, TikTok, for dominating the social media platforms.
Just thank you, TikTok, for existing. TikTok's amazing.
Yeah, we do enjoy it. But yeah, everybody was actually getting mad dad vibes out of the Southwest pilot, you know, like almost like, hey, I'm going to turn this car around and we're going to go back home if you guys don't knock it off. It was great. Some people got mad, but I think those are just a bunch of Karens. It was interesting though. I would love to be on that fucking plane because here's the scenario on why I would find it extra comical, Bob. Me on the tarmac, just left the airport bar. I'm probably 3-4 drinks in already. You know what I mean? And we're not even getting serious yet. So when the captain comes on and says, hey, everybody knock it off and quit sending nudes, I would just start being like, dude, get me another cocktail. This is great. I can't wait to get to Cabo. You know, it would really just jazz me up. That's just me.
Well, I mean, it's almost like it was staged, right? To get people primed for their trip. So we're not like, we don't have a huge amount of time left, so I want to skip forward and talk about the sex dolls industry for a minute,
just so it doesn't bother you. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, no, we can circle back. I just don't want to miss this next topic. I want to make sure we get that in there this week because, you know, there's a lot of times we talk about politics and everyone gets bored and we give our opinions and whatever. But today's one of those shows where we pretty much just grab a bunch of stories that humor us. And we want to share them with everyone because we know it's going to humor them because our audience is as depraved as we are. And we love that.
This is very true.
So there's a company. And I forget the company. Maybe you can pull it up real quick. I know it's in our chat.
Don't worry, I'm here. There's
a company,
Galmato Haven.
So this company is offering a service. Now, it's only if you buy the sex doll from them, correct?
I don't necessarily think so. I think they do. I think they will take your sex doll if it needs refurbishing, if you got it from anywhere. But there are perks definitely from purchasing from them. Warranties, so to speak, as well.
Right. So basically you can buy like a 60-month warranty, 36 to 60-month warranty with these guys to rejuvenate your sex doll, right? So they'll get in there and they'll get all the old jizz out and all that, and they'll get all the scrape marks from when these nerds got overzealous,
the blood stains, right? I mean, it goes on
up
and
their
on.
doll when they eye socket fucked their doll or whatever they're trying to do, right? And they'll take this doll and they'll rejuvenate it and give it back to you. That's a seemingly like kind of normal sounding service for $7,000 sex doll or whatever, right?
Sure.
The interesting part to me about all of this article, beyond all of this, which it was interesting enough, but it was when they said that we offer fucking refurbished sex dolls.
Hey, and not new, but like new condition, Bob.
Oh, there's nothing more than I want is to save a few bucks on a sex doll that Scott has gone to town on for like 3 years.
Hey, we do share everything, Bobby. We're really close friends. No, this one really got me too, because here's one of the other things. I just love how this starts off. If your sex doll has seen better days, that's just great already. It's like, what the fuck are you doing to this thing?
Already, you're talking about like your middle-aged sex doll, right?
Oh, yeah. Galmato Haven bills itself as the first and only official Real Doll certified repair center and offers a spa treatment for worn out dolls, providing them with the ultimate in rejuvenation. Yeah, no, pretty intense stuff. The other thing I thought was super funny is they do sell, and they had to make a point of this, they sell and refurbish heads, torsos, and full bodies. Because, me, I don't like a fuck around, and I'm kind of a thrifty guy, so I just go with the head.
Well, and they also say that you could upgrade your head to your sex doll for like an extra $8,000.
Mm-hmm. To the AI, yes.
To the AI version, because there's nothing I want more than an AI bot telling me how I'm fucking her wrong.
Dude, that was actually one of the things that I laughed out loud when I was reading this article, because it was like, hey, for this much, you can get the most expensive product we have, an AI head called Harmony, which is priced at $8,500. According to the advert, this talkative beauty is looking for a new place to call home. She's great, but not in perfect shape. She's a real woman, you know what I mean?
It's funny too.
When it starts out, she's talkative. I'm like, wait a minute here. That's not the kind of sex doll I want. Oh God.
I want a sex doll that fucking demeans me and ridicules me while I jizz on her face. That's gonna be fantastic. It's like, and why do you play so many video games?
But at the same time, too, I love how they lay out proper expectations, dude. Let me just read this too. The head is in perfect functioning condition. Thank God. That's all I can say. But the body has a few small defects. There are some mild dimpling in the left breast. The factory suggests regular massage can help clear this right up. What the fuck are we doing over here? Dude, if you walked in on me massaging the left breast of a sex doll so I could work out the dimpling that's happening, something has gone wrong in my life, Bob.
I'm okay with it as long as the doll is like fucking belittling you. If the doll is like telling you that like you could be a better fucking partner and shit, and trying to give you like pointers on how to fucking be a better person, then I'm okay with it, because then I get my value out of it. So to be clear, it sounds to me like it's like $7,000 or so for a doll. And then there's an $8,000 upgrade to have a doll that talks back, right? So that's a $15-some thousand doll.
Now, the gargling sound while you're face fucking her is sold separately.
The thick drool that comes out from the deep throat is an add-on in feature.
That's a $1,500 add-on that everybody has to have. It's like adding the True Coat or the leather seats. You know what I mean? You probably should just go ahead and do it. Just throw them in. You've already spent a decent amount of money.
But as long as she's under warranty for those days that you invite all your friends over, you can bring her back here and we'll clean her up real good for you.
Now, again, apparently, this is my biggest takeaway here. This story is foreign to me. It kind of blows my mind in the sense that I've never had the need nor had the inclination to go get myself a sex doll. With that being said, this is obviously a pretty popular industry with plenty of customers in demand, which to me is not very surprising. But at the same time, wow, this is the first of its kind. I wonder, as the trailblazer of this industry, if there's going to be more that follow suit. That's what I wonder, because literally, if we start seeing sex doll repair shops on every corner like we do fucking dispensaries, that's going to be a little bit disheartening. You know what I mean?
I don't know. At least we're like toning down the like sexually transmitted diseases at that point.
And the rape, you know what I mean? And the actual gangbanging of yeah.
I don't know. I'm just gonna say that the demographic of most rapists aren't in the ballpark of being able to afford a $15,000 doll.
Wow, we're gonna lose like all of our rapist viewership. Jesus Christ, Bob. Way to put a ding on us. Oh my goodness.
My apologies, rapist. I don't want to stereotype you or paint you in a corner.
I'm sure a lot of you are very well read and very well to do and have plenty of money in your 401k. But at the same time, I digress. It's a very interesting story. But yes, one for the ages, Bob. I thought you would like this one for sure. I mean, the title was just a attention grabber. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest with you, dude. Some of these dolls, they look scary as fuck without hair. Please throw some hair on those bad boys. That's all I got to say, because I'm not really down with the death cold stare in their eyes. I don't know. I might need the AI. Is all
they
I'm
didn't.
saying.
They didn't have the AI upgrade.
Yeah,
Then they'd have the weird mechanical movement of their eyes.
one eye would be like a fucking iguana, like one eye's like well, that's what I'm saying. That's the ticket right there. Very interesting. But yes, if anybody wants to go there, I believe this is London, right? I believe it's in England, but Galmato Haven, first of its kind. So
Hold on,
for all you,
let me favorite that.
there we go. For all of your sex doll refurb and rejuvenation needs, gonna have to go across the pond as of right now, but there should be more. But I'll tell you what,
I'm going to tell you that site is pretty popular because I just started typing in the site, and then like halfway through it like finished it for me. It's all Gamma Haven, meaning that there's enough people on the internet going there that like the web search crawler knows what I was about to type there. So I think you're right on this is a pretty big industry thing.
yeah, well, I mean that, and that you are a member of this site, so obviously it's going to be auto-populated.
I do think it's funny that on the search result page it says real doll customer protection, real cock too, handmade to order. Who is Galmato Haven products, spa day, certified pre-owned. It's all there right on the search page.
My. Well, Bob, you know what? With that being said, I think we are about out of time, and that's how we're going to end it this week here at the Stiff Truth. So, a couple of big takeaways here. The older they get, the smoother they get. You can just read between the lines there, or take that how you may. Run with it as much as possible. Football is back. I like to rub shit on the back of my neck. I don't know. What else? What else did we talk about today, Bob? I'm trying to sum things up for everybody.
Rapists are poor.
Yes. We no longer have any as fans, which is going to be a little bit upsetting for me and Bob, but I think we're going to get over it.
Yeah, other than that, that's about it. Go Cowboys. Their game starts in an hour and a half.
Yes. We're going to get back to it. I think it's time for us to have another cocktail as well. So as everybody else should be and will be enjoying the rest of their first football Sunday, the first of many football Sundays until well into January of next year. God, I love this time of year. But guys, thanks for joining us. Check us out on all the platforms. Rate us, love us, subscribe, star us, give us a goog if you want to check us out and figure out more about us. And until next time, we'll see you all soon.
And take it easy in your sex dolls. They're there for you.
Yeah.
See ya.